Hi, boys and girls. I would like to read you a book called Big, Big Bubble, A Lesson in Courage by Phil Vischer. Phil Vischer is the one that created VeggieTales, so maybe you've heard of him before. Boing, boing, boing. Marcy held on tight over here. She was up on a ladder hanging streamers for the fall festival. It was a hard job. "Be careful, Marcy," Sunday school lady shouted. The big booming noise was shaking the ladder, the trees, everything. What could be making that racket? Sunday school lady wondered. Just then, Buck Denver came bouncing through the park. Over here at this. He was stuck in some kind of a giant bubble, and he was out of control. "Whoa!" Buck shouted as he bounced off a light pole, a park bench, a statue of Clive and Ian's great-grandfather, the founder of the town. "Be careful," Clive yelled as he and Ian ran toward the bouncing bubble. "Yeah, you almost broke Great-Grandpa," Ian yelled. "Sorry," was all Buck could say as his big bubble landed in the bushes and finally stopped bouncing. "Buck, why are you bouncing around in a giant bubble?" Marcy asked. Clive and Ian were helping Buck out of the bubble and the bushes. "I wasn't supposed to be bouncing. I was supposed to be safe so I could be brave," Buck said, brushing leaves off of his jacket. Ian was confused. "How could a giant bubble ball make you brave?" he asked. Buck tried to explain. "It's really easy to get hurt when you go outside. You can fall and scrape your knees. You can bump into things. Other people can hurt you. Even bugs and bees can hurt you." "That's true," said Clive. "But a bubble ball?" "Yeah, to keep me safe," Buck answered. "Nothing can touch me when I'm in my bubble. Everything just bounces right off. Since nothing can hurt me, I can be brave." Sunday school lady thought about this. "But then you started bouncing," she said. "Yeah," Buck said sadly. "Things bounce off me, but I always bounce off things. I was out of control. I almost broke Clive and Ian's great-grandpa." "Well, not really our great-grandpa," Clive commented. "Just a statue of our great-grandpa." "There must be a better way to feel brave," said Marcy. Sunday school lady smiled. "I think I know a story that will give you a whole new way to be brave," she said as she pulled out her trusty flannel graph. It wasn't an ordinary flannel graph, of course. It was a magic flannel graph. "Is it time for a trip?" Ian asked. "Can we come too?" "Sure," said Sunday school lady. She tapped on the magic flannel graph. And suddenly, they weren't standing next to the flannel graph. They were in the flannel graph. Ian loved it. "It's so fuzzy," he said. "It feels like my favorite pajamas, the ones with the footies in them." Then Ian noticed something. "But why am I hot?" he asked. "Over there." Marcy pointed to a big round thing that looked like a huge oven. The fire inside was burning brightly and very, very hot. "Oh, are they baking cookies?" Ian wondered. Buck looked worried. "I don't think so. Look at those 3 guys." 3 young men were standing in front of the giant oven. They were tied up. In front of them was a king, a very angry-looking king. He yelled, "If you don't bow down and pray to my statue, I will throw you into this furnace," the angry king yelled. "What's going on here?" Buck asked. Sunday school lady explained. "Those 3 guys are Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They're Israelites, but they aren't in Israel. They're stuck in a country called Babylon, and they're working for that guy. He's the king of Babylon." "Why is he so mad?" asked Ian. "I think I know this story," said Clive. "The king wants everyone to bow to his statue, but Israelites are only supposed to bow to God, not statues or anything else, just God. And if they don't bow to the statue, they'll be thrown into that fiery furnace." Buck was amazed. "Why don't they look scared?" "They know something the king doesn't know," said Sunday school lady. "They know their God is real, and he will be with them no matter what." One of the young men spoke up. "We believe our God can save us from the fire," he said. "But even if he doesn't, we still won't bow down to your statue." "That was really brave," said Ian. "He doesn't even have a bubble ball to keep him safe," Buck added. The angry king pointed to the furnace, and the 3 young men were thrown inside. But then something amazing happened. The king doesn't look angry anymore, Buck noticed. He looks really confused. The king was staring into the furnace. "If we threw 3 men in there, why do I see 4 men walking around?" The king rubbed his eyes and looked again, and the 4th man looks like an angel. The surprised king called Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego out of the furnace, and they weren't hurt at all, said Sunday school lady. "They didn't even smell like smoke." "God sent an angel to protect them," Clive added. Buck was thinking hard. They had courage because they believed God would be with them, even in a fiery furnace. "That's right, Buck." But Sunday school lady wasn't finished. "God was with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the furnace. Let's see where else God can be with us." She tapped the ground. The furnace and the king disappeared. Now they were in a dark, cold, dirty room. "Are we in jail?" Marcy asked. "It's a prison," said Sunday school lady, "and not just any prison, a Roman prison." Buck noticed a man in the corner. "Who is that?" he asked. Clive had an idea. "I think that's Paul, the Apostle Paul." "You're right, Clive," said Sunday school lady. "Paul is in prison because he wouldn't stop telling people about Jesus. And what's worse, he knows he may never get out of prison." Buck looked at Paul with wide eyes. "Is he scared?" Buck asked. "He's writing a letter to his friends." "Let's see what he says," said Sunday school lady. "Friends," Paul spoke as he wrote, "what has happened to me has helped spread the good news about Jesus. Yes, I'm in prison, and I might be here for a long time. But because they see God is here with me, everyone is bravely sharing the gospel." Now Buck Denver was really confused. "I don't get it," he said. "People are brave because Paul is stuck in prison?" "Paul is writing to his friends in Philippi," said Sunday school lady, "telling them how happy he is." Ian was confused too. "And he's happy in prison? Why?" No, I think I get it, said Clive. God was with Paul in prison, helping him tell everyone about Jesus. Sunday school lady smiled. That's right. Even the guards were hearing about Jesus, and Jesus was changing their lives too. Seeing Jesus change people's lives made Paul really, really happy, said Marcy. Buck was still a little confused, though. But what if Paul never gets out of prison? What if he's stuck there until he dies, he asked. That's the best part. The part that makes Paul really, really brave. She pointed to Paul as she wrote. Paul said, if I live, my life is all about Jesus. And if I die, I will get to be with Jesus. Paul looked up again and smiled, then kept writing. Which is better, he asked. Both are great. Both will make me very happy. Now Buck understood. Being friends with Jesus makes Paul happy. He can tell people about Jesus in prison. And when he dies, he'll be with Jesus. That's right, Buck, said Sunday school lady. Paul has courage not because he thinks nothing bad will ever happen to him, but because he knows when bad things do happen, God will be there with him. She tapped the ground one last time. Suddenly, they were back in the park, standing next to Marcy's ladder and Buck's giant bubble. I don't need a bubble ball to be brave, said Buck. I just need to remember that God is with me, no matter what happens. A bad day at school, Marcy asked. God is with me, Buck answered. A trip to the dentist? Clive asked. God is with me, Buck answered. That's great that God is with us, Ian chimed in. But he poked the bubble ball. What should we do with this bouncy old thing? Marcy had an idea. Maybe a bouncy bubble could help me get my job done faster. And look at her, boys and girls. She's bouncing all over the place. I'm not sure that really helped her get everything done quickly. I like this book, boys and girls, because it reminds us that we can have courage because God's always with us. There's a verse in the Bible that talks about that. It says this. This is Jesus, or God, talking. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be terrified. Do not be discouraged. For the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. And that's from Joshua 1:9. So my question to you is, when do you need courage right now? What's going on in your life? Ask God to help you with it, and he'll give you the courage you need.